All right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm just coming with a wonderful message, and the title is The True War Within versus the War Without Understanding. Let me say it again. The true war within versus the war without understanding. And I'm going to tell you what it's going to do. Okay, I don't know how many was with me when I talked about what took place before the foundation of the world. Okay, I want you to understand what Peter received was the keys. The keys to the kingdom is not given to any and everybody. Okay, it's only given to those in which the Most High, AHAYAH, the Most High Yah has assigned. Okay, now we know that He can do whatever He want to do with what is His. We got to grip that, child. It ain't like He has to assign His will to go our way. Okay, it ain't like Sister Deborah asked for the keys; it was given unto me. And this is why I can actually say to you, since I was 4 years old, I've been dealing with the Most High Yah spirit. So I do know, honestly, to tell you the real thing, I think I can go back as far as 3 years old. But I stick with four because I can remember communicating with the Most High at that age. Okay. And I'm saying to you all that the keys, I feel that I have the keys to the kingdom. And the keys is not something you be high-minded, boasted, uplifted. And this is the reason why Sister Deborah speak the way she speak. Don't misunderstand her boldness. Her boldness comes from knowing the spirit of truth and spirit and truth in His fullness, because of how long He has been with me. Okay, how long He has turmoil with me, how long He has taught me. You see how long I have believed in Him and how He believed in me to come abide in this nasty flesh. See? So I want you to also grip what I'm about to speak on today, because I taught it, I think it was 3 times, what took place before the foundation of the world. Very, very, very powerful message. Being so, that information lets you know how an individual have the keys. It lays it out, it not all out, it lays it out. Okay, because it lets you know that the Father has trust this individual enough to give them the keys to the kingdom. Do that mean they own the kingdom, they rule? Do that mean they perfect, they excellent, they great? No, none of it. Just mean that they flesh and they got spirit, and that the Father saw fit to allow them to know the mystery to the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? It don't make Sister Deborah no better than nobody else. I live and I die like everybody else. Okay? So it don't put me up higher and put no one down lower. Okay? But it caused Sister Deborah to have a life. Let me explain to y'all. A life living with long suffering, endurance. Long suffering, endurance. You see? Because of much is given, much is required. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out, because this topic I'm about to talk about, as I was doing the study on it, I said, wait a minute now, Father, y'all, this is real powerful. I said, now, wait a minute now, this is deeper than deep. This is deeper than what took place before the foundation of the world. This is a deep topic, you guys. And I want to, before I start, I want to ask you, please, find your way to another platform this evening. I'm sure there's thousands out there, and someone might be saying what you're sitting waiting to hear, what you're desiring to hear. But what Sister Deborah about to speak on is spirit and truth, okay? It's showing you some light in the midst of darkness, okay? It's also giving you a little taste of how Sister Deborah is going to open up the keys, the door with the keys to the kingdom, okay? And opening up the door don't mean you're going to be able to walk on in. It's over. It's finished. So no matter what Sister Deborah teach, the Most High is not saying what you teaching them, they going to get it, Deborah. They going to know me. They going to understand me. No. I'm still in the race. Okay? I'm in my lane. That means I still got to keep talking. Okay? I can't just say, okay, he blessed me with a lane to run in and I'm good to No. You still got to run the race of my Father's will. You see? You can't just say, hey, cause he wants you to run in your lane and stay in your lane, so you ain't just dealing with nobody to just go on and close yourself in a closet. Oh no, he said, no, baby, as long as the race is going, you're gonna have to stay in your lane. So I appreciate that. Now running in the lane is gonna bring long suffering, and because of the long suffering, he is and he has given me the spirit of endurance. Because let me tell you something, this is something to endure. So I want to ask you, and I'm gonna stop speaking, stop talking until you and get you a pen and a piece of paper and follow along with me. Okay, this is going to be a wonderful message. But I'm gonna tell you something: if you are not of spirit and truth, and you don't have no light, please go to another page. Please go to another page. Okay, because this is going to be strictly spirit and truth with the light above and the light beneath. Okay, so what I'm saying is this message will mess somebody up and mess them down. That's how powerful this message is going to be. It can mess you up and it can mess you down. What do you mean, Deborah? See, you all, so many people have taught, preached, minister thousands of years, hundreds of years, but never taught the people spirit and truth with the light above and underneath. You can have a pen needle or light, and you all right. See, that pen needle light can open up and spread up at any time. So even if you got a pen needle or light and you still stand a chance. But I don't want no one coming to this page thinking that it's about what they think it should be about or what they understood. People don't even understand the way that the Father orchestrated everything before the foundation of the world. Even the gift itself was before repentance. We did not give the Most High Yah the prompts, the praise, the worship, nor the thanks or the praise for who he is, who he was, and who he's gonna be. Because we ain't learned that's who's due all of the praise, the honor. We should be putting him up so high, nobody will be able to even see or even smell or even look to where he's at, because he's just that high. That's where he's whirling to be in us. Not down here at face level where we think he's like unto a man. That's where we messed up from the floor up at. And nothing nobody can do. It's over. So where I'm about to take you is, let me tell you something, the light is going to be bright. Okay, it's going to be real bright. So I hope that you all have your pen and your piece of paper with you. Okay, I really hope that you have that. Okay, I want you to, first and foremost, I want to say this to you. What would you say is the highest accomplishment that man has reached in this day and time? Anybody in the live chat? Anybody? What is the highest accomplishment man has reached on the earth? Now, let me say this first and foremost. They couldn't have done it without the Most High allowing them. Okay, let me just add that on in there. They couldn't have done it without the Most High Yah. So, but What would you all say? And I like to hear from everyone. What would you say is the highest accomplishment on the earth that man has accomplished on the earth? Anybody? Okay. I would like to see that in the live chat. If you don't know, you can throw your thumb up, but this is just a part of the lesson. Okay. That's all I'm doing right now is really setting it up as a part of a lesson. Yes, 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 yes. But you see that endure? That's the part that they miss because they don't understand. Only he that endure. That means they got to go through something. You see what I'm saying? Nobody want to go through anything. Everybody wanted to, like, it's like everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die. Okay. 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 Somebody said thumbs up. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna wait and see if I get at least two more. Maybe someone might have the answer. Deceiving folks. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Deceiving folks. That's the highest accomplishment that man has reached on the earth. Okay, so we that's a good one though. I'm telling you, I don't know now. That's hitting up there. The highest accomplishment on the earth, one of the highest accomplishment that we could say that man has reached. Accomplishment. Okay. Hate. They have reached that one too, but these are the ways that they didn't even have to reach. It was already present. Okay, so when we say folks deceiving folks, the action of a deceiver is to deceive. Okay, so how can a deceiver, how can one be deceived if there's not a deceiver? And that's where I can bring that right back into the lesson. What you have, deceiver, deceiving folks. See, deceiving was already at the beginning, so it's been present since the beginning. Okay, same as hate. Woo-wee! Girl, you stepping into some of Sister Deborah's lesson now, but I'm gonna level that thing out. Okay, let's see who else. Shalom. The highest accomplished is fulfilling the highest purpose on the earth. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. But what we're saying is the highest accomplishment that men, not like males, but men has reached on the earth. Oh, it's an accomplishment. Oh yeah. It's definitely one. Greed, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. But when you find out that deceiving and hate and greed was here in the beginning. Y'all better get your pen and piece of paper because Sister Deborah about to get y'all in trouble. So I'm telling you right now, if you can, you need to shut down on this video and go elsewhere because I'm going to tell you what I'm about to spill is going to change your life. It's going to make you see everything totally different than what you thought you knew. Okay. So when we see deceiving and we see hate and we see greed, now the name of this topic is the true war within versus the war without understanding. Okay, and that's because we have this war going on. Okay, it's going on within, but there's no understanding without of the war with nor the war within. There's no understanding. Who is the understanding? And all you're get understanding why he wants you to get him. Okay, the Most High Yah said, "Get me." I'm all understanding. That's why he said, "Seek ye the kingdom of heaven first." That's all he said. Seek me. I'm all understanding. I'm the one that comes and abide in you and teach you all things. And in the process of teaching you all things, I tell you what I'm going to do. I give you all understanding. That's the power of understanding. So in the topic, in the title of my message is The war within versus the war without understanding. They don't have the understanding. So Sister Deborah finna pull that thing up and pull that thing down. And somebody gonna be in trouble. Okay. So the highest accomplished of men on the earth, and I'm not talking about males, I'm talking about male and female, the highest accomplishment from the standpoint of a prophetess in the wilderness being taught by the Most High Yah and knowing that it's impossible for man to reach that destiny without him. And you would understand it and how it fits in what I'm about to speak on. Okay, so Sister Deborah going to go on and tell you, let me see. Lots of, okay, let me tell you what the accomplishment that man has. Let me see, someone else said that man has received on this earth is wickedness and evil. But see, the thing about it, that's all those, everything everybody's saying, guess what? That's a part of this message. Isn't that beautiful? It's going to show you how they didn't accomplish it. It was already here. Praise the mighty Yah. So when we say wickedness and evil, it was already here. Okay. When we say greed, it was already here. Okay. When we say deceiving, it was already here. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing we can really say that they accomplished. They didn't accomplish those things. Those things were already here. Let me give you what it is. When I behold what I am seeing and from what I learned from the wilderness, that there is a very powerful accomplishment that the Father suffered them to come to be able to accomplish. Guess what it is? The greatest accomplishment that man has accomplished through the will of the Father is cloning. Cloning. Man can clone a person without a spirit. Man can clone individual without the breath of life. So you would have to be, that would have to be the number one accomplishment, because that was Yah's accomplishment. He gave life to man. So when he gave life to man, he gave man his breath, his image, which is a spirit. How is it he is suffering them to be able to learn how to create a man, a woman, without his breath of life and his image, which is his spirit? Now, when y'all say that's the greatest accomplishment, to be able to mimic. Is it identical? No, because it don't have Yah's breath and it don't have the spirit, his image. But how did they do it? You see what I'm saying? That's powerful, y'all. Only way they could have done that is the Father giving them the ability to master something so close to him, so close to his creation. So that's why I say to you all, the Father's will. You're right. That's why I say to you all, don't think that things can't be created and done without the flesh of men and women. Y'all ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. And this message is going to show you ain't nobody. So if, when I was doing this lesson, he said, Deborah, what is the greatest accomplishment? I had no idea, but he brought it to my spirit. He said that he has allowed man to clone man, male, and female. Without what? The breath of life. And without what? His image, which is a spirit. These are the sort of things to me that's called understanding the Ruach HaKodesh teaching when you're in the wilderness. Because that's something to really think about. How could they have done that? Only heavens itself has opened the door for them too. He will let you. You can plant some seeds. He don't have no problem with that. Won't even grow without the sun and the rain. How about that? How about that? You see what I'm saying? It's still, but this here, in which he allowed them to have the ability to do without his what? His breath and his image, which is his spirit, which is a spirit. But yet they were able to make man and woman. You see, these are the sort of things you all don't look for. But let me tell you something. These are the things that's coming up in these last days. That's why nobody don't understand. Y'all pulling up, and this pulled up. This came out of the sea. This came out of the mountain. This came out of the sky. This came out of the earth. I don't understand what's going on, because some things are taking place, and only the Father in heaven has it record to go as planned. So them creating them cloning, think who would give them the ability to do that outside of the Most High Yah? That's why I tell y'all, I don't mess with all these people talking this yang. I don't listen to nobody. They don't know him. I know him better than they can even think they know him. Now, I can listen to somebody because I don't know it all. And when someone says something, like I told y'all, those Muslims, when them Muslim men pulled up and they were saying the spirit and they start to say these things, I listen. See, Sister Deborah is not closed off to where she know it all, she got it all. But I tell you what, run up on me in the spiritual realm, you're going to be messed up. Because I ain't going to be talking about Torah. I'm not going to be talking about Enoch. I'm not going to come out of King James. I'm going to pull up different. Let's go. Okay, now what we're going to do is, first and foremost, he wants me to break down tools to bring this message. The message is the true war within versus war without no understanding. You don't have no understanding, y'all, none whatsoever of what is actually taking place in this day and time. Okay, so I want y'all to first and foremost understand, okay, the first thing that connects, okay, to any and everything that has to do with us, male and female, okay, is what he said in Genesis. I didn't like what took place, y'all. I know that just as they were able to clone male and female, I know that he has given Satan DAY to do as he desire, as long as he limit him so that it'll match his will. Okay, so Satan just can't come up and pull up and do this. I'm gonna do this. You sit your tail down and follow the instructions. It go A, B, C, D, like I said it. See, he ain't going. People thinking Satan down here cutting up from the floor up. He doing this. No, he ain't. He's not doing that. That's just your understanding of what everybody feeds you. He don't rule nothing. Okay? So when I'm sitting here, the Father had me to bag some things up and bag some things down. And I had everything ready. And I couldn't find my paperwork. Guess where it was at? In the trash. Now, how did it get in there? And I said, now, okay, I ain't got time. I ain't got time to bother with you. I get it out the trash. I shake it off. I said, no, there's something wrong with this, but I ain't got time. Let me get over here and go live. I ain't got time. Okay, now watch this here. I want to let you all know something, and that is in Genesis. Let's go. Genesis chapter 1. And we're going to start with Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26 really created all most of denomination, and their belief comes from this here, because they think they can nail what was going on in Genesis chapter 1 and 26. And because they don't know spirit and truth of the whole matter, they have formed their own what you call it when you your own belief in your own core core of your values. You know how someone believes, or my denomination or my church believe this. Wait a minute, it ain't about you. First and foremost, it still got to line up. And I'm not talking about lining up with biblical in the book. I'm talking about in spirit and truth. Okay, so when you get into Genesis chapter 1, and you see Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, and I said to now, Father, look like I'm backing all up. Pretty soon I'm gonna be in heaven with you. You backing me all the way up, and it seems like I'm going to be somewhere up there where you at. He said, Deborah, you skipped some. I just want you to add it. Now let me show you what he wanted me to add it. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the sea and over the fowls and over the air and fowl of the air and over the cattle and over all the earth and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Now watch this here, verse 27. So Yah created man in his what? Own image. Wait a minute. What did 26 says? Let us make man in our image. Now in verse 27, he wants you to know that he said, and Yah created man in his own image, and then turn around and said what? In the image of Yah created he, him, male, female created them. So what he wants you all to understand right there is where you got to park it. You got to start it right there. Now, here he's letting us know that the image of who he is a spirit. He is a spirit, and his likeness of who he is like who he is, a spirit. So he gives you the image of a spirit. But how do he give you that image? We're going to find that out. So first and foremost, we as men and women, as good and bad, as righteous and unrighteous, as wicked and evil, guess what? We all got his image, which is a spirit. We all have his image, which is a spirit. Okay? No, he didn't give the heathen something else, or the Gentiles something else, or Russia or China or what I say, the heathens and Gentiles. No. Every man and woman that's born outside of the clone has the image of the Most High Yah. What is his image again, Deborah? He is a spirit. So he gave us a spirit. We are his image of a spirit. Now, did he give the unrighteous his image? Yes, he did. Did he give the murderer his image? Yes, he did. Did he give Abraham his spirit? Yes, he did. That's the image that came once he blew. That's what he was blowing in you, his image. Blew the breath of life, or blown into you, his image. So that was for every human being on the face of the earth that comes into the world. Born into the world. Okay, now this is where it's going to get kind of hard. So now in Genesis chapter 2, now that we understand, he wants you to know, because he wants you to know that you don't run nothing and Satan don't either. Okay? Okay? He gave you a spirit. He gave you his breath. He wants you to understand in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. He wants you to understand the difference between two things. See, he does it in two now. He said what's happening is they don't know the war within, the war without, because they have no understanding about nothing. And I told them to get me. Get me. Seek me first. I am all understanding. Seek me first. That's the kingdom he's talking about. Seek him Yah first. Okay, now watch this here. Now we're in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. And he wants you to see the twos. Now we're going to use the left side to be separate from the right side. And in Yah, he has two sides. Everything he has orchestrated from heaven came into two. Okay. Now he wants you to know, let's go to verse 7. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. Okay. And Yah formed man of the dirt, of the dust of the ground. Bam, there go man. Okay. And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living spirit. So don't blow on there. Roman Catholic placed it there to you, so you will never find your way home. What is home, Deborah? To understand that it's about spirit and flesh. Anything in between, kick that trash to the curb. Okay? Ain't no soul. Okay? So he's saying in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7, and Yah formed man of the dirt, of the dust. There they got that flesh. Did that flesh get up? Watch this here. And of the dirt, of the ground. Wait a minute. You mean man came from the ground, the dirt? Yes, I formed him. Okay, that's flesh, Deborah. Okay, and breathed into his nostrils. When he breathed the breath of life, he breathed into a man and gave him a spirit. Okay, and he breathed in life into man, and man became a living spirit. Now you got two right here. You have flesh and you have spirit. Okay, those are the two. Now what happened? What happened in Genesis chapter 26 and 27? He let you know man, and he needed spirit. And how do he get the spirit? Through the breath that the Father blows into him. Why is he blowing breath into the flesh? That comes from the ground. Not the flesh he blowing the breath in, Deborah. It's the spirit he blowing into man so he can become a living spirit. Same way when he takes his breath back, it's going back to the Father's bosom. So he letting you know the breath is not in the flesh. It is upheld in the spirit. That's why it can't be a middleman called the soul. The breath of life is upheld in your spirit. When it goes back to the bosom of the Father, the breath goes back and the spirit goes to sleep. And the flesh goes back to the ground. It falls straight on the ground and don't ever get back up. Ever, 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 ever. But when judgment comes, the trumpet of the Most High from the throne, when it is blown for judgment, that spirit comes up to be judged. What you mean, Deborah? The spirit is judged based on, did it let the flesh from the ground control it? Or did it let the spirit of who it was control its life? Now, what do you mean? Here in Genesis 27, it breaks down too. It breaks it down so you can know that Yah formed man from the dust of the ground. See the word and. It's letting you know I'm not done with him, y'all. And breathed unto his nostrils the breath of life, which is Yah's breath, were blown into this flesh. But guess what? That flesh wasn't going to go nowhere because he just had breath. The breath brought into the flesh a spirit. That's why the Father let y'all know, look, you cannot worship me in flesh. That's telling you that your flesh means nothing to the Father. But he said only in your spirit. Why? Because that's the only thing that has his image. It's what he gave you, like unto him, which is a spirit. So your spirit and your spirit come into one. That's why he said, you abide in me and I abide in you, and we become one. How? Because of the spirit that was blown in you. 99 point trillion don't know the weight of having a spirit. They don't know. So they let the flesh rule. Watch you help the flesh out. Wait till you find out who helps the flesh rule. That's why the flesh, your own, not me, not nobody else, but your own flesh is your worst enemy. Always was and always will be. Your spirit is the only connection you have to the Father. And look in Genesis when his breath of life went into the nostrils of life and man became something living. Come on, tell the truth and shame the devil. What the devil want to put soul there for? Because you wouldn't know that it was his image, which is the image of a spirit that he blew in you. So that leaves all the world not knowing, not focusing, and y'all let him go on just like he let all the people during Noah time. It took 7, and he said, Deborah, guess what? I never in my life would have thought of it. Like I never would have thought of this. He said, guess what, Deborah? Noah and his family, I kept the animals over human. Just think about how many animals Noah had to collect to take into the ark. But you didn't find one out there, Father, that can come in? No. See, y'all thinking that he has to rumble like us in the flesh. No, he don't. He don't have to go in our order in the way we say he needs to go. How dare we look at the creator, the most high Yah, and think that he has to come to our level of our ugly flesh. We have to see him so high up to where we can't even see him. But we know he's so high. We know he's so big. We know he's so great. We know he's so excellent. We know he's so perfect. You got to know him like that. You got to know his own power before you think that he can come down to your ugly face and look you in it. This is why we have to put him there, and you're going to understand it in this lesson. So here it is in Genesis. He was showing me in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. He said, right there is tools, Deborah. I said, I knew it was the tools, but he separated the dust from his spirit. So that when you have the keys, you can unlock the keys and see the difference. He turned around and said, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living something. They said so. No, he has a spirit that now have life. Now, what is that spirit? A lot of people, 99.9 wouldn't understand what the spirit is. You know what the spirit is, y'all? It is light. Lowercase L-I-G-H-T. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4. Let's go there. That's why I can't take on what someone says over what the Spirit says in my spirit. And that's why a lot of people don't want to hear what you got to say, is because it takes away from their flesh understanding. And especially when it's become personal within themselves, what they want to believe themselves. Now, when you go to John, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. Now, listen to this. It's telling you the plan of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4 is telling you, verse 4 and 5, it is telling you the plan that was orchestrated in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Here it goes. Verse 4. In him was life. In who? The Creator. He had life. And the life was to light. You see that? M-E-E. To light his tail up. You see? In him was light. No, that phone call took me off. Verse 4. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4. In him was life. And the life is telling you the breath of life is telling you what it's connected to. Listen to what it's saying. I want y'all to write this down. The Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. In him was life. In Yah was life. And the life was to what? The light of man. To give man. A spirit is likened to a light. You see, that is what he gave him. He didn't give him a soul. He gave him a light, which is a spirit. And look who he said he gave it to. The light of men. You see that? The light of men. In him was life. Remember that breath of life? Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the life was the light of men. Why is it stating the light of men? Because men don't understand they have the light of the children. So before woman can incubate the life, it has to come from the man. You see? Because Yah put the light in man. So there is life in the sperms of men. That's why when you look through the telescopes, go on Google and say, what do sperms look like? And when they key it up, you will see lights all over the place, going all over the place, thousands of them. Because Yah is telling you, when I created, I gave them my breath and my image, which I gave them a spirit likened to my image and my likeness did I give unto them. So the Roman Catholic put soul because it confused you. It puts you not, I say it puts you about 95% out of the order. Because now you don't know that, wait a minute. You mean to tell me it's about my flesh and my spirit? And if my flesh is my worst enemy, what is my spirit? A place where y'all are sitting back waiting to abide in. How about that? How about that? You see? Because you don't know who he is and where he comes to be in you. People thinking they saved, they think they sanctified, they think they have the Ruach HaKodesh, they think they have the light, and guess what? Don't even understand their spirit. It's the only place he comes to abide, which is the image of himself already, which is a spirit. That's why he tells you, I'm not coming into Adam's stinky, dusty flesh made from the dirt. What did it look like? Me, Father Yah, coming into his flesh and abide. No, he ain't coming there. And never will. He gave you your own spirit, like unto his image, a spirit. Now, when you get this spirit and you live, you got two ways to live. Either you're going to live the flesh, the ways of the flesh, or you're going to live the way of your spirit. Because what does it tell you? Your flesh, your spirit is so willing. If you could get to know your spirit, you'll say, I didn't even know I was that nice of a person. I did not know I was that kind. I did not know. You know why? Because they put the soul in between it and left it to soul and flesh. So you will never focus on the only part. Now, let me finish the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. The only place that will give you peace, the only place that he will bring joy, it's the only place he will bring you happiness is in your spirit. So when you're running around here wondering why I'm stressed, depressed, and all, it's because you've been running your life in your flesh. And you never thought, wait a minute, I got another part of me. I don't have to live this way of my flesh. I can live this other way, which is willing to live the right way. You see? But no one ever really is caught up in trying to live any way outside of what their flesh tells them to live or rule. So I'm going to show you why and how you can already know what's your decision in the heavens come judgment. Not yours, but y'all's. You could already know. I'm going to break that thing down, y'all. Okay, so in the Gospel of John chapter 5, it says, and the light shineth in darkness. Notice where the light is at. It's in darkness, which is your flesh. But watch this here. But the darkness comprehend it not. So what you saying, Father? Y'all tell them, Deborah. I've given you the breath of life and blew in you a spirit, which is the light. But the flesh is so caught up in darkness, it won't even comprehend that you have a spirit. Exactly how the Roman Catholic figured it out too. Let's put something else there so they don't know about their spirit. So they put soul. You get it? So now people running around here wondering why the world is the way it is. You're going to find that out tonight. But let me show you something. Let me show you something, right? Go back to your John, the Gospel of John, chapter 1. And let's do this. Verse 5. The Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness. Wait a minute. Hold up, Father, y'all. Hold up. You said you put that light. What did you put it in? They body that was of the ground. So it's considered darkness. Yes. And when I put them a light that has my image, Deborah, and my likeness, they flesh wouldn't even comprehend that it had a light. So you just tell them they got people running up and down for thousands and thousands of years, not even realizing you got a spirit that overrides your stanky flesh. But because you like your flesh ways, and your flesh is your worst enemy, and it knows only one place it's going, back to the dirt in which it came from. When what is going to stand before the throne? The same spirit he gave you when he breathed his breath of life in you. That spirit of yours he gave you, it's going to stand before the throne of Yah. Okay? Now, when you see the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9, and what does he say? The Gospel of John in chapter 1 and verse 9, that was the true light, which lit every man that come into the world. See that? He lit y'all tails up, and guess what? Y'all stanky flesh never comprehend the light in which he had lit your tail up with. Why? Verse 5, for the light shineth in darkness, which is in your flesh, and the darkness comprehend it not. Okay, I get you, Father. I get you. So there we go with twos. We got he that is created of the ground, the dust of the ground. Okay, he came with a spirit, the breath of life that were blown into him. It wasn't blowing into no nasty flesh nor no nasty soul. What he looked like taking his breath and blowing it into a flesh. What does that look like? Or a soul? Think, y'all. Think. It could not have been a soul. That breath is holy. He blew it in that which he had given you, a spirit. He know what he gave you. Because the stanky flesh, what does it say in verse 7, Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7? And Yah formed man of the dust of the ground. Didn't he sit his tail down there on the ground and didn't get up? How was he going to get up? Yah had to put him a spirit and blow his breath of life into the spirit. And then man became a living spirit. Okay, now this is darkness. This is how would we say it? We're going to find out about this left, and we're going to call it left and right. So now we learned that flesh is coming from the left end and spirit is coming from the right. Praise the mighty Yah. Flesh is coming from the ground, the dust of the ground, and spirit is coming from the breath of life and a living spirit. So we got the living spirit and the breath of life on the right hand, and we got dust from the ground on the left. Okay. Now, where alone, I can't deal with that light right now because it's too many of them. Then he poured up and he said in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9, he said, and out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that was pleasant to the sight. Okay. The food and good for food. Now watch this here. Here we go again. The tree of life, which is on the what? The right. And the tree of good knowledge of good and evil on the left, right? But they were both in the what? The midst of the garden. So you got the tree of life and you got the tree of knowledge of good and evil in the midst of the garden. He got two trees there, y'all. Hold up, Father, y'all. You got two trees there. There go the twos. When you find out, you're going to find out something about what you never knew. You're going to find out about the war within, and the war without has that you don't have no understanding of what's really taking place. And the reason why we're going to break it down, even in verses that I've already gone over in time past, but it's going to lead you to the war. Okay. So here it is. We got Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. And out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life and the tree in the midst. So here go the midst, and the tree of the midst of the garden and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. There go the two. Okay. So he got both of them there. Then he gets to Genesis chapter 2 and he talks about it again. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 17 and 18. But the tree of knowledge, here the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt truly die. Okay. Verse 18. And it says, and Yah said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a help meet. Throughout all the creations, y'all didn't notice something, did you? Let me show you what you didn't miss, what you missed. Out of everything he created, he said it was good. But when he got to this point where he put Adam in the garden alone, he said in verse 18, and Yah said, it is not good that man shall be alone. What happened? What happened to the fact that now it's not good when everything was good? It's because everything that was good, what was out, everything that Yah had created, you guys, guess what? It was without the flesh. Everything he created was without. When I say the flesh, I mean the flesh as the ground, as far as man. Okay. When he created man, he knew everything he had created was good. So putting man there in the garden, he should have been good. But he said, it is not good that man shall be alone. See, so where along the line do it make man not good to be alone? Because man was put down to in the garden. Okay. Now the Father is seeing man as flesh and as spirit. When he created him, he didn't say it is not good that man be created alone. But when he placed him where he wanted him to be, he realized that, okay, it's on now, Deborah. Tell him to turn the fire on, turn the stove on, turn the eyes on. It's time. Why? Because I now put flesh and spirit in the midst together. Anything can go on. So now Adam is now flesh and spirit. Now it's not good. It's not good. Why? Because flesh didn't pull it up out of the ground. He had created him out of the flesh. He knew right then when he put that flesh into the garden, he already knew which side flesh was going to take. He already knew. So it wasn't about male or female. Now it brings me to the fullness. Not today, but this is time past. It brings me to the fullness to not trust what the Roman Catholic could have switched and said woman entertain. You see what I'm saying? Because it's so stories behind woman, her having sex with the serpent and all this sick mess. But you got to stay your focus on what did he create when he created man out of the dust. He gave him his breath of life. Everything was okay. But when you put them in that garden, now you got to put her in there with him. Why? Because they flesh. They're not just spirit. They are flesh. So they all have to go in. I'm sorry. Hold on for a minute, you guys. These hold on 1 minute. Why did you call me? I cannot believe this. He was just calling me like a prank. Isn't it crazy? Oh my goodness. Oh, wait till I get off of this phone. I cannot believe this. But so what he's saying is we have a war and we haven't figured out the war within to know the war that is without because we don't have the understanding. And what we're going to learn, let me go continue. So in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18, he is saying it is not good that man should be alone. Now, notice it's not good because now man is flesh and man is spirit. Now they have entered into the what? The realm of the will of the Father as human beings. Now man in the flesh and in the spirit, it is not good that he be alone now. Why? You go back to Genesis chapter 1 and verses 26, 27, 28, and 29, Yah was speaking the word. But when you pull up in Genesis chapter 2, now he created man. See, as long as man wasn't in the flesh in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27 and 28, all was good. You get what I'm saying? He didn't have no problems. Even giving them, let's go there. Genesis 1, chapter 26. And Yah said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them, there you go, them, have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowls and over all the cattle and over all the earth and over the creeping things that creep upon the earth. Now that's a power punch in there. There's a power punch in there because he told you how he created things, and you all went out here and let the flesh of man switched it every way, left, right, up, down, and around. And in him, he spoke the word to be the way he spoke the word, because what? He is the word, and we switch all of his word out without seeing that he had it in. He said them. He wasn't talking about men. And he wasn't just talking about women. He called them as male and female. That's who was supposed to hold the mission of life. They took it and stripped it away and made it about man. But this is what he did. He said, you tell them, when I spoke that word, it was spirit. I spoke it in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, 27, 28, and I called them. I gave them dominion over the earth, Deborah, over the sea. I gave it to them, not him. And watch this here. So when did it become different after that? When flesh stood in. Flesh switched it. When flesh stood on the scene, as long as Genesis 1 and 26, let's go on and finish what he said. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, and Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish in the sea, and over the fowls in the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Who is he talking to? He said, what do my words say, Deborah? It says them. You see? As long as it's holy and it's in the spiritual realm, his word is standing. But when it stepped into the flesh, all things switched. You see what I'm saying? Because now flesh is already at war with spirit. That's why he always said, Deborah, go back to Genesis. You'll find the answer. It was switched. Why? Because flesh came on the scene. So when he's sitting here saying, then in Genesis 1 and 26, so Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them. That's why you got male fighting against female today. That's it right there. Because he took on a dominion that was not given to him by the word of Yah. You see, they want to run this book down. You can't run nothing down to me when you don't know spirit and truth, because the word spoke. In the beginning was the word, and the word was Yah, the word is Yah, and the word will be, and it was with him in the beginning. So when was he in the beginning, Father? When I was speaking to Deborah, they ain't paid no attention to it. I spoke who I wanted to have dominion over the earth. He's just showing you how when flesh stood in, when flesh came in, they converted everything from what? The original word of God. So then I'm sitting here saying, okay, you said Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27, and Yah created man in his own image, and in the image of Yah, he created male and female, created them. Oh, wow. Now watch this here. And Yah blessed him? No, them. You see how out of order they took his word? Now, the thing about it in Genesis 1, the thing about Genesis 1, 26, 27, 28, 29, he let you all know from the beginning his word. We want to call all the books that we found, all the one that was lost. We want to call all the King James 16:11. We want to take on Torah, but we don't want to abide by the spirit that spoke in the beginning. He had already spoke it up and spoke it out. So when you see the order was already in an order of war. Why? Because they took it out of the will of my Father's word. Had not they messed with it in the beginning. And see, people want to, let me show you something. People want to make you think it's all about Eve doing what she do. Baby, let me tell you something. The war had already took place when he formed man of the dust of the ground. You can't see the tools, can you? How is it that you can't see that it wasn't a soul? It was a spirit. Who took that out of here? The Roman Catholic men. They've been taking stuff from the word of God. So you run around here talking about, when you got to bring in biblical, sit your tail down. Now book on the face of the earth gonna override spirit and truth. Nor the light of the Most High Yah. And we done took on this thing, making it life. This book is not life. My Father's breath of life is life. That gave you life, and your darkness didn't comprehend that the fact that he gave you light. Even to today, the Gospel of John chapter 1 and verse 5. Deborah, tell them my light shining. But their darkness wouldn't even comprehend it. Even to today, you messed this thing up from the beginning. The war was in the beginning. It's not what you see today. This is messed up from before. The war started at the beginning. So when you run around here and try to make people think this book is the word, and I'm going to beat you with it, I'm going to destroy you with it, I'm going to precept you with it, I'm going to knock you left, and I'm going to knock you right, you need to knock yourself somewhere and sit down. What Sister Deborah is trying to explain to you, that here are the 12 disciples, y'all. 12 disciples. He said unto them, who do they say the Son of Man is? Oh, he's Elijah, he's John the Baptist, he's one of the prophets. Okay, that's what they say? Oh, yes. Now you're dealing with the apostles. Did he pull up and say, okay? Then who do they say I am? Who do they say I am? See, what you did not know is when you can answer that, then you have the keys and didn't even know it. See, most 99.9 don't even understand that this thing is spirit. We have wrapped it up and wrapped it out and decorated it and planted it in the flesh, and nobody can get past that flesh. The way they think about it, the way they feel about it, the way they act. And flesh is our worstest enemy. But we can't get past it to reach over to the spirit realm. See, I got you now. So as I'm sitting here, I'm saying like, okay, wait a minute. Now the Son of Man spoke in two ways. There go the twos. He's told the disciples, he said, who do they say that the Son of Man is? They say Elijah, John the Baptist, one of the prophets, and he said, okay, but who do they say I am? AHAYAH is. Bam, there you go. Peter jumped up. Oh, he's the Son of the living Yah. What is the difference from the Son of Man and the Son of Yah? They don't know. Because they riding on the flesh. They riding on flesh understanding. So what he say? Son of Man stepped back and said, hold up, Peter. I didn't reveal that to you. I come down here to teach you. And I know